All right, so the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq retreat from their all-time highs. However, Bitcoin is making new all-time highs. Tesla is under attack, literally. So we'll take a look at this. Apple is plummeting today. So there's a lot going on. Plus, we entered a few new trades today. So with that said, welcome to Coffee with Marcus and Mark. And in this show, we're going to talk to you about what's happening in the markets and how we are trading it. And today is already Tuesday, March 5th. And I think with that said, let's get this party started, Mark.
Sounds good. Sounds good. And is the party getting started, or is the party coming to an end after making record highs? Markets pulling back. Yesterday, a slightly lower close. Tech and the Nasdaq leading the way with losses, and a bit of a sell-off today, Marcus.
A little bit, but I mean, we're still having a very solid trend line here. S&P down 0.8%, Nasdaq down 1.7%, and we'll look at this, what's driving it. Even the Dow down. I mean, I think it's profiting because we know that this week all eyes will be on Powell, and if you look at the economic calendar, tomorrow he's testifying in front of the Senate, and traders are trying to find some clues of what the Fed will do in 15 days, 2 hours, 58 minutes, because we are getting to the wire another 2 weeks until we see what the Fed wants to do. And Fed fund traders are holding kind of steady and right now in a wait and see mode.
Yeah, and I think this makes sense. I mean, we know that the testimony here by Powell is always a wild card, and he has the potential to shed some light or say some things to get the markets moving. But then also jobs on Friday is going to be significant. So with some inflation data past us after the last couple of reports, now today's or this week's focus will be on the testimony and jobs on Friday.
Yeah. And I honestly don't think that this sell off here is widespread. We really have a couple of stocks that are moving lower today. Microsoft moving down 2.7%, Apple the same 2.7%, Tesla 4.8%. And if you look at this of who are the largest companies in the US, here we go, we see that, oh, look at this. We have them right here. So we do have Microsoft, we do have Apple, Nvidia, and then a little bit further down, now on 10, Tesla. And so, I mean, when these companies get hit, I mean, that's what's driving right now the losses, especially in the NASDAQ.
Exactly. So you have the mega cap tech stocks selling off a little bit. Looks like some profit taking because, like you said, it's not a broad market like everything taken off, and you could see that there clearly with the heat map in that green.
Yeah, you see that, for example, energy is bright green, consumer defensive is green, banks are in the green. I mean, pretty much the whole financial sector is in the green. It's really a few stocks that are right now weighing on the market. And yes, these are the few stocks from the so called Magnificent Seven that is dragging the market lower today. So we should probably look at those.
We could do that. We could do that. But in spite of the kind of mixed markets and the tech sell off, the VIX, the fear index is rising, which shows that there is some more volatility in the market, and I'll take that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's probably because of tomorrow's testimony of Powell. And what's super interesting today is that the stock indices are falling and so are the yields, which is surprising. Usually we have an inverse relationship there, but right now, stocks down, yields down, VIX up. So there is some fear and uncertainty of what the big chief Powell will say.
Exactly. And although it's not a true inverse relationship, to your point, Marcus, typically if yields are just plummeting and they're down pretty big compared to what we've seen, that the markets would be higher, that'd be positive for stocks. Not the case today with everything down.
Yeah. So let's see what is happening here with Apple. So Apple, actually, let's go to Tesla first because I think that this is
Sure.
quite interesting. Did you see what's happening here with Tesla? Why Tesla is down 5%?
Yeah, so I saw that they halted production at their Berlin plant after a power outage that was due to a fire. But yeah, you see that in their headline. The fire, a suspected arson attack at the facility.
Yeah, I mean, so very targeted. Apparently, a eco-terrorist group targeted one of the power suppliers, and right now everything is halted there, and probably for the next several days. It's not expected to resume this week. And if you look down in the article, we see that there's a left-wing extremist volcano group claimed responsibility because they are not happy with the vehicle makers' professed green credentials. Elon Musk was quick to respond to say they're either the dumbest eco terrorists on earth or they're puppets of those who don't have good environmental goals. So, yeah, so apparently they say, well, Tesla is not as green as they say they are, and this is why they got targeted from the Vulkan Gruppe. Hey, who knows? Fact is, Tesla, the Gigafactory in Berlin, is down for days, which is obviously hurting Tesla.
Sure. And I think part of this drop, so okay, a shutdown's not good, but I think you look at the mega cap tech stocks too, and part of that slide's got to be from that as well. Yeah, just with what we're seeing in the market.
Anyhow, yeah, I mean, good possibility to pick up some Tesla shares if you want. So right now on the
Sure.
scanner, Tesla has been popping up with a strike price of 167.50. So if you want to be the proud owner of Tesla shares at 167.50, which would be a 6% discount, today would be a good day to sell those puts after Tesla is down 5% today. So again, at a 6% discount, this means a slide of 11% of yesterday's closing price. I think this might be a pretty good bargain.
Yeah, if you want to own shares of Tesla, I agree. It seems like an overreaction at this point.
Yeah. We chose not to trade it because today, when we look back at the heat map, we actually have another stock that we have been keeping an eye on in the headlights, and that is Apple.
Apple, Apple, Apple. So Apple caught my attention a while ago, but gosh, with some of the recent news, we see that Apple continues to fall down 2.8% on what looks to be a 5-day losing streak, Marcus.
It looks like it, and it is now at a very solid support level, which we both liked. So the 167.50. Do we want to own Apple in our portfolio? Yes. Are we happy to owning it at 167.50? Yes, we are. And you see, this morning there is some decent premium in there with the VIX, the volatility index higher. So 44% annualized. So both of us, we entered this trade this morning of saying, all right, we are okay owning Apple at 167.50.
Yeah, I like that strike. You drew that support line there, and this is where last week I started to watch this because we saw the 177.50 was popping up, but that was a little high. When I looked at support levels, I thought it could pull back more, and then yesterday the 175 popped up, but we were hitting session lows, and there still looked like there could be some more downside. And then today. Uh, that the downside continued, but I really like that strike. Not only is it right at the lows that we had in 2023, but you see there the peaks that were attempted there in 2022. Just a lot of trading around here, so I like it at 167.50. Both of us sold puts.
Yeah. So, and even if we get a side at 167.50, and if Apple would plunge another 30%, this would be around 120. I would be very, very interested in flying a rescue mission at 120 and picking up more Apple shares bringing down my cost basis to probably around 150 or so. And I
Sure.
mean, this we're looking a little bit ahead of what would be the plan if not Tesla, Apple really keeps falling down towards 130 or even below. I'm absolutely okay with it. And I think this is important when you're trading the wheel strategy, because the two questions you need to ask yourself is, number one, are you happy owning the stock? Number two, are you happy at the price you're selling puts at? And for us, the answer is yes, because again, if Tesla keeps falling, I would sell more puts and buy more shares.
Exactly. And so if we just run through some numbers based on our trading experience, 80% of the time, essentially, approximately, the puts are expiring worthless or we're buying them back. So that works. That just means a quick, couple day trade or up to a 1 week trade and we're done. 20% of the time, essentially, we get assigned, and of the 20%, about 13 out of 20 trades will be trades where we're down a little bit, no more than 10%. And so majority of the time, they're just quick, nice trades, kind of like we have with GDXJ. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
But we do want to look ahead. What happens if we get into a trade? What if we're in it for more than 1 week, 2 weeks, a month or two? And like you just showed, I think it just shows that, hey, we've planned ahead and we're willing to manage it.
Yeah. So, I mean, might as well keep going through our trades. But before we do, I think we need to mention Bitcoin. Bitcoin right now pulling sharply back, but this morning making a new all-time high. So,
Wow.
surpassing the 68,900 and something that we had. So, Bitcoin today was climbing as high as 69,210. Right now, pretty sharply pulling back after making a new all-time high.
Yeah, this is gonna be interesting, Marcus. Sometimes these fast moves that get people all excited end badly. I mean, last week Bitcoin was up 22% and a very quick pullback after those highs. I'm not saying that there can't be more upside, but just when all the retail traders get super excited,
Yeah.
it usually doesn't go as planned.
So I decided that over the next few days, I will log into my Coinbase account and do all of the verification. And I think at this point, it makes sense to sell at least some of my cryptocurrencies as we are making these new all-time highs before we are pulling back. So I'm planning to sell part of it and then hold a few more, seeing if we can go to the 80,000 or 100,000 that some
Sure.
people are thinking. But yeah, I think it's time to take some profits, because I should actually have some really nice profits here.
Yeah, it looks like you're not the only one with that idea.
Yeah, it looks like it. It looks like it. All right. So, looking at our other positions. So, with Apple, we are now full. We have 5 positions on. That is the maximum that we want to have on. So, let's move on and take a look at CSIQ having a bad day yesterday. And right now, finding support right around 20 here. So, we want to see if this support level holds. Actually, that is not 20, that is 1950. So, let me do this again. And then let's see. I mean, we are now in a wedge formation. And of course, we want to see that we are breaking out of the wedge formation. 9 more days until earnings. Right now, sliding ahead of earnings. So, is this bad news to come?
Yeah, I wonder if it's a little weakness going in. Doesn't necessarily mean that that will be the case once earnings are released. But yesterday, it looked like solar in general was down on that drop, and so it wasn't just isolated to CSIQ. Today, the other companies, other solar companies are a little bit mixed. So this seems a little more isolated to CSIQ, but I think 20 could hold.
Yeah. And then we have GDXJ, and GDXJ is just up, up, and away. Look at this. And this is just connected to gold, because who knew? Little gold. We haven't heard a lot from gold recently, but it made new all-time highs yesterday and even today. So if you're looking at a weekly chart of gold, we see that intraday we already made these highs, but yesterday we had the first time closing at new all-time highs at now 2,135.
Look at that. That just and part of this could be speculation on what happens with a rate cut. But the interesting thing is, like, if we look at DXY, which is the dollar index, normally when you get a spike like that in gold, the US dollar's also pulling back. And it's not moving with the same authority that gold is. So it seems to be like that investors are getting interested in gold again.
Yeah. In any case, I mean, even though we're pulling back right now, we're still up a quarter of a percentage point. And
Yeah.
after this massive run over the last 5 days, where we talk about a 14% run, I mean, that's huge for the junior gold miners here. That is a very
Yeah.
big move.
I mean, I think GDXJ is fun to trade. It's interesting. We haven't traded it for a while. I think we last traded it, or I last traded it in 2022. But look at those charts. There's pullbacks, there's moves, but it tends to trade in these ranges. And I'm loving this push higher. I have a 33 and 34 call that I've sold. So if we stay at these levels, might be hard to roll, and I get called away, which I'm fine with. You, on the other hand, you played it a little differently, Marcus.
Yeah, so I have we both own share at a price of 33, and I sold half of or calls against half of my position at 33. For the other half, I decided to be a little bit more aggressive at 35. So stay up here, little buddy.
Yeah. Right now, it looks like it's going to make for a great roll if you want to, but still a lot of trading left this week.
Yeah, and I mean, this where it's very normal that right here I expected to run into resistance at 35.50, but we'll see. I do believe that gold has or GDXJ has a pretty good chance to stay in this range between 35 and 35.50.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. Or even pull back a little bit to 34, get called away on half of the position, and then have some fun with the 34 calls.
Yeah. All right, NEE, Nexera Energy today having a great day, up almost 2% after trading at the lower range of the 55, 58 range. We are right now moving a little bit higher, so we are back into the middle of the range right here. So time for NEE to start breaking out.
Yeah, nice move in NEE with yields coming down. This is what I'd expect from NEE, and so that's great. Uh, let's keep moving higher.
Yeah. And then we have UPS. UPS had a few great days, and today a little bit of a follow through. So, right now, really liking what I see. So, we are actually right now moving into a trend channel, it seems. So, and if we keep plugging along, should be able to sell calls, hopefully as early as next week against my existing position.
Yeah, great to see that UPS is moving higher with the indices red, like we pointed out earlier. Not everything is down, but always loving to see green in the portfolio when the indices are in the red.
Yeah. All right, we should jump over to the WTF trades because there was another trade today. First of all, taking a look at CVS, a trade that we entered last week. CVS a little bit all over the place. I mean, this morning we were nicely up. We were trading as high as 75.39 before pulling back right now, probably being pulled back by the overall market here. But still, nicely positive for us because we entered at 73.40 and 73.50. So right now at 74.06, doing its thing.
And it did the same thing yesterday where it rallied big and then pulled back. So hopefully it could stay above today's open and maybe not an exit yet, but still profitable for us.
Yeah. And then this morning, we also saw MRK, Merck, popping up. And this looked really good. The winning percentage and profit factor here exactly where we wanted to see. around 75%, 70%, slightly higher here, even at the profit factor. So we decided to enter Merck this morning. So this is a new WTF trade. And again, it's win the fear. And that's what we are looking for. After we see a little bit of a sell-off in a stock, we expect a quick bounce back, which is usually happen in the next 3 to 5 days. And that's what we expect from Merck here.
Yep. So in the trade, waiting for it to play itself out.
Yeah. So lots of trading action, as you can see today, and this is because we are down in the indices. The S&P right now trading at session lows, the VIX trading at session highs. So lots of good premium available, lots of trading opportunities, and we took advantage of this. And now the question is, what will happen tomorrow when Powell is grabbing the mic?
Fireworks, Marcus, or much ado about nothing? What do you think?
No, I think that he will be very, very firm and saying, okay, listen, guys, we told you higher interest rates for longer. He will probably say that they need more data, but I think that he might even comment on the most recent uptick in the CPI, PPI, and even PCE,
Sure.
and saying, all right, this is not so. We will proceed with a lot of caution before we lower interest rates. So I do believe we will see a pretty good down day tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll see. I have a similar feeling. I don't think he's going to say anything substantially different, but I think he'll be very firm with, "Hey, we're looking at the data, and the recent data says we need to watch this, right? Which watching means waiting. So
Yeah.
we'll see if it moves the market. I don't think he's going to come out with anything just crazy though. That's not his style anyway. But
Yeah.
we'll see how the market reacts.
But
That's
but
the
but
most
I think
important
it
thing.
will be a sobering for the market. So in any case, I mean, you don't want to miss it. I mean, definitely tune in tomorrow. If you liked it today, where we walk through our trades, our thought process, give us a like. We really appreciate all of your like. If you feel that others might benefit from this, please share this video, especially if you want others to see how we are trading, how you are trading. It's a good chance to share this video, show our thought process, and then make sure that you tune in tomorrow. Until then, have a great rest of your day.
Happy trading, everybody.